Hello students, I am welcoming you all to part 4 of oscillation, in which we are going to study about this term, which is resultant amplitude, and even we are going to find out resultant phase, which was delta. As you all remember, or as you have seen yesterday's video, in which we have studied and we have derived the derivation about this, which is resultant amplitude, which is nothing but a1 square under root a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 twice a1 a2 cos of phi1 minus phi2. Okay, so we have derived this already in previous part. So in this we are going to study about the most possible cases. Which cases? When phi1 minus phi2 becomes 0, what happens to resultant amplitude? And even in that case, what happens when we are saying amplitudes are same? Then the second case is nothing but when phi1 minus phi2 becomes 90 degrees, which is out of phase. So what happens to the resultant amplitude? Then when it becomes 180 degree out of phase, so what happens? So that we are going to study in this particular part. And then afterwards we are going to find out the resultant phase, that is delta. Okay, as you all remember, we have seen, or we have given two numbers of equation, which was r sin delta is equal to and r cos delta. By using that both the equations, we are going to find out delta. Okay, so after that, the most usual formulas which we usually use, which is nothing but kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay, so even that we are going to find out in this particular one. So let's move towards the first point, which is this: r is equal to under root a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos of phi1 minus phi2. Okay, in this case, first case that we are going to consider is when phi1 minus phi2 becomes 0 degree, which is in phase. Okay, so what happens to this? So that will become r is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2 cos of 0 degree. Am I right? Yes, because this is nothing but 0. So what is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. So we are going to put the value over here. So I will get r as a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2. Right? So this is what I got, which is resultant amplitude when this phi1 minus phi2 is 0. Okay, so what is this exactly? This gives you a plus b bracket square, because what is a plus b bracket square? It is nothing but a square plus b square plus twice ab. Is it like the same? Yes. So I can write this as a1 plus a2 bracket square. So as it is square and it is under square root, I can write this as, is it right? Yes, of course it is right, because this square get cancelled with this square root, right? So what happens if the amplitudes are equal? If a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a, I am considering. What I said, if a1 and a2 are equivalent to a, both are same. Suppose a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a. What will happen over here? It will be a plus a will be twice a. So you will get resultant amplitude as twice of a, which is original one. Okay, so this is one of the cases. Is it clear to all of you? I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, after this, we are going to consider this as 90 degree. So as I consider over here, if this becomes 90 degree, case 2, what will happen over here? It will be cos 90. Am I right? Yes. This will be cos 90. And then r is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus cos 90 is 0. So this term will be not there. Right? So this term will not be there. So what happens to the next terms? We see. So as you can see, we are getting only this much. Under root a1 square plus a2 square. Again, we are going to consider if a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a, then r is equal to under root a square plus a square, because a1 and a2 is what? A. So I will be getting twice a square. Even this can be written as root 2a. Am I right? Yes, this is right. So this will be the second case. When it is 90 degree and when it is 180 degree, it will be the out of phase. Alright. So this is nothing but when they are out of phase. Then we are getting amplitude as root 2 of a. Now we'll see about 180 degree out of phase. Okay. So we'll see about case number 3, 180 degree. So what is cos of 180 degree? It is minus 1. Okay. So we are going to put this value over here. We will get r is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus twice a1 a2. Cos of 180 degree is minus 1. So this becomes minus. Right. So what is this? As in the first case, when we put phi1 minus phi2 as 0, we got bracket as a plus b bracket square. In same way, we are getting here exactly inverse, which is a minus b bracket square. Right? You can see over here minus sign is there. So I can write this as a1 minus a2 bracket square. So this comes out to be a1 minus a2. Now, what happens if a1 and a2 is equal to a? What happens over here? If a1 and a2 both are same, it becomes 0. If a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a, we will get r as 0. Okay. So what you conclude from all of these points? We have concluded that after deriving formula for r, which is resultant amplitude in terms of a, we got 3 cases. First was 0 degree, in which we got amplitude as a1 plus a2, right? In second condition, when phi1 minus phi2 becomes 90 degree, it becomes root 2 of a. In third condition, where we put phi1 minus phi2 as 180 degree, then we got equation r as a1 minus a2. After substituting values for a1 and a2 as both are equal, we got the equations and we got the values for the same. Okay, so this is about resultant amplitude. Okay, so now let's move towards the new concept, the new point. This was the remaining point, and we are going to consider now the new point, which is resultant phase. Okay, so we are going to find out value for resultant phase delta. Now, how to find value of delta? Okay, again, in previous part we have put values for this both equation. If you remember, we have both this value, right? It was is it? Yes. Now what I am going to do, I am going to divide both the equations one by one, this by this. What happens if I divide this equation? R sin delta divided by R cos delta will be a1 sin phi 1 plus a2 sin phi 2 divided by a1 cos phi 1 plus a2 cos phi 2. This is what I get. This r and r will get cancelled. What is sin upon cos? It is tan. So I am getting tan delta over here. So tan delta is nothing but a1 sin phi 1 plus a2 sin phi 2 divided by A1 cos phi 1 plus A2 cos phi 2. Now how to find out value for delta? That tan to be goes to another side and it will become inverse, right? So I am going to write that. I will write value for delta as this tan goes to this side and it will be inverse. So inverse the same values over here. Sorry. So this is what we got for delta. So this is what I got for delta. Okay, which is A1 sin phi 1 plus A2 sin phi 2 divided by A1 cos phi 1 plus A2 cos phi 2. So this is delta. So after finding out composition of 2SHM, which is X, we have find out value for R and even value for delta. So that composition part has been completed. Now we are going to move towards the new concept, which is energies. As we said that particle is oscillating, right? When the particle is oscillating from mean point to or a mean position to extreme position, either on this side or this side, when they are moving, they are changing their position, right? When they are changing their position, obviously kinetic energy and potential energy should be there when they are moving. As they are moving, kinetic energy should be there. So we are going to find out the kinetic energy and even the potential energy. Now a question comes in your mind that as if we are saying that the particle is continuously moving, so kinetic energy should be there, but why potential energy? Because we said that when particle goes to extreme position, velocity becomes 0, so some energy has to be restored over there and then again it comes back. So this is how potential energy is created in that. So how the potential energy will be created? When the particle is moving continuously, there should be some work done and that work done is converted into potential energy. So this is what we are going to derive over here. First one is kinetic energy and second one is potential energy, and then we are going to add up. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, we are going to find out kinetic and potential energy. Okay, you can see on the diagram, you can see on the board, diagram is drawn over here, in which, as I told you, when particle is moving from one point to another point, here is the path. The particle is moving from this to this. It is along Mn. Okay, so when it is moving along Mn, as I told, it will take some positions. So there is one position which is we are going to consider as P, and the displacement which occurs is X. Okay, so now we'll move towards to find out kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? Half mv square. Now to reach up to this point, you have to know both these three formulas that we have already derived. V is nothing but plus minus omega under root a square minus x square, and even in the another form we got V as a omega cos of omega t plus phi. This was the two equations of V, right? And even we have find out equation for x, which is displacement, and it is x is equal to a sin omega t plus phi. Now we are going to use this equation in this. So let's put value for V over here. In both way we are going to find out. So kinetic energy is half m V square. So this will be omega square into bracket a square minus x square. Am I right? Yes. So you got the equation of kinetic energy as half m omega square a square minus x square, or you can find by putting this value also. So kinetic energy by putting the second equation, half m V square is that. So a square omega square cos square omega t plus phi. What is m omega square? As you remember, k is nothing but under root k omega, sorry, omega is nothing but under root k by m. If we square both the sides, we will get k by m is equal to omega square. So what will be m omega square? It will be k. M omega square will be k in this and in this also. So we will get both the equation in terms of k as k, and here also k okay. So we got values for kinetic energy. Alright, now we have to find out value for potential energy, and to find potential energy, as I told you, we have to find out the work done. Now when the particle is moving, what happens to work done? Work done is nothing but force into displacement, right? How much amount of displacement is happened over here in this diagram? X is the displacement. When it is moving from mean position to extreme, he has to reach from 0 to point x. So when we are taking limitations, we have to take limit from 0 to x. That particle is moving from 0 position up to what? X position. So I have to put that also. Okay. So I will just write this both equation in another side, and we will find out work done right now, and then potential energy. So I will just write over here. I have written both the equation over there, so that we can use that equation afterwards. Now, work done. What will be work done? Work done is nothing but minus F into dx. Okay. Now, what is F? As it is oscillation, we have already said that this is the required equation of F. In the very first derivation of oscillation, when we are deriving differential equation, we have put this equation, right? So we are going to use over here. So that will be dw is equal to, this is also minus and this is also minus, so it will get plus. So kx dx. So I have got dw is equal to kx dx. Now what to do? As I told you, I have to take the limitation, and I have to take the integration also. So I will take the integration. From what points it is moving and what is the last destination of that point? It is moving from 0 to x. So I will take limitation as 0 to x. So this becomes w, and this k is constant, integration of x dx. So what is integration of x dx? It will be x square by 2 within the limits 0 to x. Alright, we are not going to take a constant term. Why? I have not added a constant term while I am solving integration. Why is it so? Because this is the definite. I know the values of lower and upper limits. So that's why I haven't taken the constant term while we are solving integration. Okay. So, okay. Now, what to do next? We have to put the upper limit first minus lower limit. So here you can see upper limit is x itself and lower limit is 0. So I will get only this, right? So w is nothing but kx square by 2, which is half kx square. Am I right? Or I can write this as half m omega square x square, because as we know what is k, m omega square. In both the way we got w. And as I told you, this work done is converted into potential energy. So this is nothing but potential energy. So we got value for potential energy Q, which is half. Okay, so this is about potential energy. So again I will write this over here, which is potential energy half omega square x square or half kx. I have written both the equations. Okay, even instead of x I can put value of this, and even I can find out the value for potential energy in another way like this. So what will be that? It will be potential energy is half k x square, which is a square sine square omega t plus phi. So I got three values of potential energy. Okay, so what will be the next? Obviously we have to find out total energy. And what is the total energy? It should be the addition of kinetic energy and potential energy. So we will find out that. So let's move towards the total energy point. So total energy is nothing but kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now in this case also we have to take values of kinetic and potential energy in a same manner. So if I am taking this, I have to take k and k terms, alright. So I will take that only, half k a square minus x square plus potential energy this half k x square. Now I will solve this bracket, half k square minus this half got multiplied inside. So this is what I got. This half kx square and half kx square will get cancelled. So I got this as total energy, or so this is all about kinetic energy, potential energy and even total energy. And even you can put the value of omega over here as 2 pi n. If I put omega as 2 pi n over here, what happens? Instead of putting this value k by m, I am going to put this as 2 pi n. Let's see what happens. m 4 pi square n square a square. So from this equation I can say that even this can be written as can I write like this? What I have done, I have just divided this 4 by 2, alright, and n is nothing but frequency, right? So it is inverse of periodic time. So I have written like this. So from this equation you can say that total energy is directly proportional to amplitude and inversely proportional to the periodic time. Okay, so from this, if a question asks like this, that prove that, show that the kinetic energy depends on mass, amplitude and time. Or if the question asks like this, on what factors total energy depends, derive the equation, the necessary equation. So you have to derive this. Okay, looking at the marks you are going to derive. If it is asked for only 2 marks, then you have to consider this both equations by yourself. If it is asked for 4 marks, you have to derive these both equations, and then you are going to put that value in total energy, and then the final answer should be this. Okay, so depending on marks the answer is there. Okay, so this is it for kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy. Now we are going to consider some special cases. Here total energy is half k is that what we got, right? So cases, first case is if point is at mean, that is x is equal to 0, what happens to kinetic energy? Just have a look over here. If x is 0, then this becomes 0, so you are getting kinetic energy as half k a square. So I will get kinetic energy as half k a square. Okay, what happens to potential energy? If x is 0, it is half kx square. If x is 0, then potential energy will be 0. So when particle is at mean position, total energy is completely kinetic energy. This is nothing but total energy. You can see, you can compare. So at mean position, the energy is kinetic. Now we'll see what happens when it is at extreme. So x is equal to a, we are going to take. Okay, plus minus. Fine. Now, what will be kinetic energy? It is half k a square minus, instead of x, we are going to put what? A. So a square minus a square becomes 0. So we are getting kinetic energy as 0. And what will be potential energy then? Let's see what happens to the potential energy. It will be half k, instead of x, I am going to put a. So this will become a square. So what you observe from both this equation, this is nothing but total energy, am I right? So when particle is at mean position, the total energy is completely kinetic energy, and when particle is at extreme, the total energy is completely potential energy. Okay, why is it so? Because at the very first I told you that when the particle is mean position, it has to move towards extreme. So it has to move. So kinetic energy is there. When it reaches to extreme position, it stops over there. It becomes 0. So that's why the energy gets stored. So that is potential energy. So this is how you are going to find out these all values. Okay. So this is it for today's lecture. Even after that, we are going to see the graphical representation of the same. We'll see. This is at extreme. Now we are going to consider 2 more cases in which we are going to consider if kinetic energy is equal to potential energy. What happens over there? So get cancelled. Fine. So I will get the value for x as plus minus a by root 2. How? So I will just tell you how. A square minus x square is equal to x square. So a square becomes, this x square will go to another side. So this is what I want. So a is nothing but root 2x. So I will get x as a divided by root 2. Plus minus has to be there because I have took square root. So this is how I got this. X as plus minus a divided by root 2. Then if I put this value, if I say kinetic energy and potential energy both are equal and it is denoted by E only. So I will get the value as E by 2. Okay. So after that I have took x as plus minus a by 2 only, half of the amplitude. So what happens to the potential energy? Here you can see half m omega square. Instead of x I am going to put this a square divided by 4. So what happens over here? This is what you are getting about potential energy. What is this? Half m omega square. Half m omega square is nothing but energy. Okay. So these are more cases by using which we are going to find out this graphical representation, in which you can see energy is there, displacement is there. In both we have to consider displacement as either plus a or minus a. Okay. Then a by root 2 or minus a by root 2. If we consider curve of kinetic energy, this is the curve of kinetic energy. If I have to consider curve of potential energy, this is the curve of potential energy. So as we have said that at a by root 2, both the energies are equal. So I have written over here kinetic energy is equal to potential energy, because at a by root 2 both are same. Okay, and even for both the cases I have took this 0. Okay, so this is all about the energies. So in today's lecture what we have learned, we have completed the derivation of composition, which was R, that is resultant amplitude. Then the resultant phase we have derived, and even we have applied cases to it, and then after that we have find out kinetic energy, potential energy, total energy and cases for the same. Okay, so this is all about today. So So we'll meet in tomorrow's lecture, and if you have any query regarding this, do comment. I will solve your query.